Hey, the Southern Fundamentalist here, and I wanted to do a quick video, a commentary on Politico magazine's article on Jerry Falwell Jr. and Liberty University, and more specifically to cover um, the moral majority and where it failed in this country. So the article is going to pretty much go where they let's see who the author is. Brandon Ambrosino, and he claims to be a former student of Liberty University. So look about him. Yeah, he is a writer living in Delaware. His articles have appeared in New York Times, The Atlantic, and the BBC. Seems the sissy type to me, and taking this is going to be on the lines of okay, Jerry Falwell Jr. endorsed Trump. Let's see where he's not living up to his standards and expose it. Basically, what this is, if you're a Christian, you're going to get this. That's how they get you. These are degenerate reprobates telling you that you don't live up to a certain standard that you've set for yourself. Big whoop. You know, this is their morality, that they pick and choose their morality of how, it fits their lifestyle. But their favorite thing is to look at us and say, well, you're not living up to the morality that your religion upholds. Okay. And we need some reprobate, some sissy to point that out to us. That's what pastors are for. You're not even in the conversation, in my opinion. Now, this is not an excuse, and this is not... I think the religious leaders have failed in this country for the past 2-3 decades horribly. They've horribly failed, and they've had unbelievable amount of resources financially and access to power and access to media. And that there is one of the main reasons that they failed. Let's look at the moral majority and say, no, I'm not going to attack Mr. Falwell personally. That's what this is, a character attack on him. But the moral majority is the majority of white Southerners. It was founded in Lynchburg, Virginia by Jerry Falwell, a Southerner. That's what the moral majority is. It's a large portion of heritage Americans of English descent, of Christian religion, are Southerners. And this evangelical branch, Baptist, being the main one concerning liberty, of course, these are Southerners, okay? And they're Southerners of English descent, not Southerners of African descent, not Southerners of French descent. They're going to have certain morals and moral values that are different than other ethnicities. And this is where it fails, because this is what the religious leaders and the moral majority included, have not addressed. Is that Martin Luther King had 40-something girlfriends while he was a, quote, religious leader. They hold Martin Luther King to a different moral standard than they would hold Jerry Falwell. Why is that? We all know why that is. Nobody expects Martin Luther King to live like a Jerry Falwell. If Jerry Falwell Sr. was to have 40 girlfriends while he was running Liberty University, that's all you would be reading everywhere. No, what morals are we talking about when we say the moral majority? It's the morals of English, British, Scottish, Irish people who are Christians. And those morals are different than other people. This is why they're attacking. Okay, one of these things say, well, Mr. Falwell was in a nightclub, or his wife had some racy photos. And so what they're doing is they're attacking him by his moral standards, which, yes, we white Southerners are less sexually impulsive, and that is repugnant to our culture to behave in a way like Martin Luther King would behave. Okay, that would just be repulsive. Nobody can come in and behave like that and call themselves a religious leader. But the moral majority, the Southern Baptist Convention, are never going to say that. Now we live, come a little bit slack. For a long time, this was not a multi-ethnic, okay. So in 1965, this starts becoming really a multi-ethnic country. We had two major ethnicities, blacks, whites, and in the South it was Southern whites and blacks. And this is the same mentality that the people who would still be connected, moral majority, I would guess 60-year-olds, this is what they grew up with. But now it's not that way. We live in a multi-ethnic, multi-religious communities. What we're calling a nation, which is really an empire now. There's no real grounding. And in order to get by, we're going to have to look at our religion, our moral values, in a way and say, okay, well, what is our standard for morality? And let's hold our people to that standard. And we're not going to be able to hold everyone that this empire is allowing to come in to the same moral standard that we have held for years without losing that moral standard. And that's what's going on now. That's being replaced. That's why there is this. Okay, good example. I listened to a preacher's grandson the other day give a speech, and he says, my grandfather used to preach back when pastors preached against things. That was a very profound statement, because that's not what's done nowadays. The only thing they'll preach against is what they're told to preach against, the same thing that CBS and the mainstream media and everything is preaching against. They'll preach against that. That's where they're getting their instruction for their morality, is from political correctness. They have to keep their institutions alive, and they know they're on shaky ground. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up, but this is the point I want to make. This is where we here, as Southern fundamentalists, as ethnic fundamentalists, listen, I'm going to hold my people to a different standard. My ethnic people, I'm holding them to a different standard than I would someone that comes over from the Congo or South America or Central America. I'm not going to hold those people to the same standards that I hold my people to, because there is the morality that we have and the things that we have come to accept and that have become repulsive to us are there for a reason. God chose us to be born into this specific ethnicity. This is who He gave you to. These are what comes with it. You shepherd your own people. Okay? And if someone's trying to be the world's preacher, the message becomes so diluted, it's good for nothing. All he's going to be up there is, Reverend Smiley Puss up on stage with his hands in the air saying everybody's great. God loves you just the way you are. It helps no one. The white Southerner pastor is best for white Southerners. Same goes with the black Southerner. It's best to preach to black Southerners and shepherd his people. They have different issues. They have issues that have gone on for thousands and thousands of years. And they need specific guidance on. Okay? And when you take out that therapeutic element of a small, ethnically homogeneous church, you do no good for anybody. Okay. We are the Southern Fundamentalists, and you can find our website at southernfundamentalist.com. And you can support us on Patreon. If you do, we'd like that. We're producing media and edutainment, both education and entertainment. Let us know what you think. I like to make commentaries. That's what this is. This is just a commentary on what I find in the news. And when I see it, when I think it's interesting, I'll point to it and talk about it. Thank you very much.